magical time of year growing up. My parents always brought the holidays to life in our home and continue to even to this day. There are so many memories that we share and many traditions that we enjoy each and every year. One of those traditions is Mom's French meat pie, a dish that we couldn't be without during the holiday season. And now I'm here in my mom's kitchen. This is my mom, and we are going to make French meat pie. Mom, this is a recipe that I remember having as a kid, a teenager. Growing up, we always had it during the holidays.
Yes, it's been in our family for many years, and I'm actually the only one that makes it in the family. So I thought I would share it with everyone so they could make it at home as well.
I never thought you would share it. It's your lucky day. You're going to learn how to make her special meat pie. So step one, what goes into it?
The recipe that we're making will make 2 meat pies. So we'll need 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of ground pork, 2 large onions finely chopped, a teaspoon and a half of ground black pepper, we have a half a teaspoon of ground sage, 2 tablespoons of Bell's poultry seasoning, a teaspoon of celery salt, 2 teaspoons of salt, a cup of water, and 2 packages of pie crusts.
So in addition to all of those ingredients, you also need 2 pie pans.
2 pie pans. And then I also, in the pan here, already peeled about 4 or 5 medium potatoes. And I've already had those, they're already boiled. So you'll need to boil them and get them ready to put in after you mix all your other ingredients.
Okay, so we're gonna get cooking.
We're gonna get cooking. So I'm adding the ground beef to the pan. And then we're gonna chop that up, get it mixed up into the pan.
All right, Mom, so you added the ground beef and you're mixing and chopping that up, and now you're going to add 2 pounds of ground pork. Okay.
So I'm going to put the ground pork in.
Now, you and I have made meat pie together many times.
Yes, we have.
But now everyone at home will get to make it, and then it can become a family tradition for you.
That's right. But we're going to get this all mixed together. We're going to mix the pork and the Hamburg together, and we're going to let this cook. We're also going to add our onions. So Ashley, can I have the onions?
Yes, I have the onions. Now, as you can see, I wore the onion goggles, and I talk about these a lot on the show, Mom. You know that.
Yes.
Because my mom cries when she cuts onions. But if you wear onion goggles, tear-free. I'm not shedding any tears.
They work great. They really do. Thank you, Ashley. It was a great gift.
You're welcome, Mom.
Okay, so now I'm just going to add the onions in and mix them in with the pork and the Hamburg, and then we're just going to let it cook.
All right, Mom, so it looks like the meat has browned and cooked all the way through?
Yep, it's all set. And now what I did is drained the fat. Most of the fat, I've left a little bit in there, but I've drained most of the fat out of the meat. And now we're going to add our seasonings.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with our poultry seasoning. Sprinkle that on. Now we'll add our teaspoon of celery salt, and half a teaspoon of ground sage, our 2 teaspoons of salt, and our teaspoon and a half of ground black pepper. Now we're going to mix that all together.
So after you've added the black pepper, you stir it all together, and then you add...
And then I add 1 cup of water. And we're just going to add that in, and then we're going to let this simmer so that all the flavors can get into the meat, and we'll do that for about 10 minutes.
So, Mom, in the meantime, we're going to let that simmer, and we'll let everyone know our family tradition. So it is Christmas Eve, and every year growing up, we'd always get to open 1 gift. There's always something we got. And then we would go to Mama and Pepe's house, and we'd open presents and have dinner there. And then we'd come back here, we'd read The Night Before Christmas, we'd look out the window to see if we could see Rudolph's nose.
Yes, we'd put you guys all to bed. Of course, you'd be anxious to go to bed. So morning would come quick, and you'd be able to see what Santa brought.
And come downstairs and open our gifts. And then we'd always look in the fireplace and see Santa Claus's boot print. And then we'd leave cookies and carrots out for the reindeer.
And the carrots were always chewed on in the morning.
Yes, the reindeer were very happy with our snack that we left for them. And sometimes Santa left a note too.
Oh yes, most of the time Santa would leave a thank you note for the cookies and the milk that you would leave for him.
And then of course around the holiday season we always had meat pie.
Absolutely.
So we'll check on our meat now.
Okay, everything looks good. Okay, so now we're going to mash up the potatoes. We don't have to add anything to them because there's enough seasonings and stuff already in the meat. So we're just gonna mash them up, and they don't have to be, you know, like fluffy mashed potatoes. They can just be coarsely mashed. Okay, so I've taken the meat off the burner, and I'm going to add the potatoes. And I'm going to actually kind of eyeball it because I'm not going to use all the potatoes. I just put enough in that's basically used to hold all the meat together. So we're just going to mix it in, and then when it gets to the proper consistency, then I'll stop adding potatoes.
All right, Mom, so you added the potatoes until it's about this consistency.
Yep.
Next up, you have the pie crust in the pie pans.
Yep, and now we're going to put the mixture into the pie crust.
Okay.
And
You like to really pack it in,
I
right?
like to really pack it in so that they're nice and thick.
No skimping on these meat pies.
Absolutely not. So, yeah, you're going to fill it up really good. Press it down. Make sure you really pack it down as you're putting the meat in there.
Oops, some fell out of the pan.
Oh, just have to try it.
So good.
Okay, so I have one pie already done. So what we're going to do is put the top on this one. We're going to lay it on top, and then what we do is we lift the bottom crust and we fold the top one over it. We pinch it down, and we're going to do that all the way around the pie so that we're making sure it's sealed. And then we're going to make our thumb pinches all the way around, and then we just kind of even it off by pressing our hands against it so it looks like that. And then I like to finish it off with a little vent hole like that to let the steam come out.
All right, Mom, pies are in the oven.
They're in the oven, and they'll be in there for about 25 minutes at 425 until the crust is nice and brown.
So we'll enjoy some eggnog in the meantime. Voila, meat pies are done. Ah, smells so good. Wish you could smell it. And you know, it wouldn't be the holidays in our home without
French meat pie.
Of course. Thanks for sharing your recipe, Mom.
You're welcome. I love you, honey.
Love you too. And from our family to yours, Merry
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.